Hi, this is Uber here. This is kind of day, I think, 4 or 5 of the Saboteur. Let me check. I'm not too sure. I think it's like day 4 or 5, yeah. It's not even a week yet. It's like if you look on PoE Ninja, it's not been a week for this character. And it's been doing very well. Mainly because it has no problems with damage. There is some survivability issues, but when you're able to kill stuff off screen most of the time, you don't really run into problems with survivability. Because stuff just mobs just don't get to you fast enough for them to actually try to kill you. That being said, because of the way this works, it's not ideal for content like heist. So I still do heist on my Juggernaut. I don't try to do heist on this character. I've given it a try, and I feel that it's a bit risky, even though I haven't died on it yet for heist. I've made a lot of improvements to the build, mainly because I was generating currency quite quickly. I think I made almost 80 alchemies in the past couple 3 days or so. Might seem like a very small amount, but in Ruthless is actually pretty big. And I actually haven't bought any maps or it's mostly I have bought some maps, but I haven't used maps currency as a means of progressing maps. I've just been able to clear yellows all the way to right now early reds, and I'm actually clearing early reds right now. So I've just hit 86 because I haven't really died that much. I think I've only died 44 times is not that bad. And so I'm gonna do a Writhing and Polaric invitation to see the damage, and I'll briefly run through on some of the upgrades I have done for this build. So, yeah.
Duel for my Atlas.
Foolish maven, come to feed me, champion. Digestion. Obliterate. Death is meaningless.
This carnage pleases me.
Give me a second, my kid's crying. I'm gonna put a pacifier in him off. Okay, first boss kill went pretty easily. I had to figure out ways of triggering the traps without having to probably hold down the detonate button. Be right back. Welcome back. Okay, back to this. Damage seemed pretty good when doing the Endless Hunger, I think. And I'm gonna, I can't remember what that boss was called. So I'm gonna do the Polaric Invitation now. I was surprised I didn't have to do 2 phases, just one. Just need to be able to learn how to hit the detonate button to get more damage off.
Maven, the challenge begins. Your champion will fall.
Destroy the Black Star.
Replica. Deep space. Astral avalanche. The dark side.
Please don't kill me. Oh.
Destruction and ownership.
Webs I shall listen.
Yeah, damage is good. I'm gonna briefly talk about the damage and how I'm scaling it, and why this build doesn't feel like it's in Ruthless, because it does so much damage, and where to go from here. That's nice. I don't know what I want to allocate for this, I'll think about this later. So let's talk about currency generation, let's talk about the build, how it scales damage, and then the next steps on the build and where it should go as I upgrade this. So right now if you look at this, I have probably about 4.7k EHP with the ES and life. And then if you go look at the damage, this is probably around, this is actually a bit of an understatement because it doesn't look a lot, but I'm probably doing about, I think, 3 or 4 million damage, I think, DPS per second. So I'm going to briefly talk about like the upgrades I've made so far and how that improves the damage quite a bit. So I've actually gone to a 6-link, so Shroud of the Lightless pretty much gives you a 6-link on a 5-link. So the elemental penetration basically gives you pen because of how Hexblast works. You really want any penetration, or rather in this case fire, because I have flammability and elemental weakness. So this gives me quite a bit of pen. And with the pen here, and I don't have the red socket because I was using curse corrupted chest earlier, I had to have a red socket. Now I don't have the red socket here, and it's very easy to craft blues on this. So I have 4 blues and 1 green. And what I've added onto instead of the fire pen is chaos damage support. When leveled to 20, this will give me quite a bit of damage. Hexblast is at 19 right now. I'm hopefully getting it to 20. I'm actually leveling a lot of Hexblast gems. I bought them for really cheap. And hopefully I have enough Vow Orbs to crop them. Although Vow Orbs are pretty expensive, we'll see how. Yeah, so let's talk about, so this is a 16 essentially. Let's also talk about the belt. So with the belt, I have gone for Darkness and Throne. It's only 1 alchemy, it's not that expensive. And the reason why I've gone for this is because 1, you are getting increased maximum life, percentage maximum life per Abyss Jewel. You're also getting percentage increased maximum mana, which is really good because a lot of your reservation for your Hexblast is going to be flat reservation of 22 mana. So this allows you to basically have enough reservation to like drop 15 or keep 15 mines up at any time. So the mana is important. I also have lightning damage spells jewels, so I have 3 jewels so far. Okay, the 2 jewels on the belt, they are both life and avoid being stunned. The reason why avoid being stunned is used here is because this allows it to be boosted by 75% increased effect. So this total is probably about, I think, 62% avoid stun. I'll show you. So I remove the belt. Sorry, not 62, 72%. Alright, so about 74 actually. So 74% chance of avoid stun is coming from these jewels into this belt. Along with chance to avoid stun on the 3 itself, I have what's it called? Heart of Oak allocated along with the preceding node. This basically gives me 100% chance to avoid stun, so I'm stun immune with this setup. Yeah, so these jewels were pretty cheap, like maybe 1 elk each. And then this one was like 1 elk as well. The reason why I have lightning damage is because I've pathed here and I've gone for lead elemental equilibrium. Since I do lightning damage, I get exposure for fire and cold. The fire exposure is the only thing I really care about. So I get 25% rare shred from this. So altogether, I'm doing maybe about 50% penetration. Like enemy bosses will have minus 54% resistances, and that gets Hexblast basically just takes the lowest resistance, right? So minus 54 boosts the damage here quite a bit. Yeah. I've also swapped one ring out for a Profane Proxy. I managed to get this for about, I think, 20 elks. It's still cheaper than what it would normally cost. I think right now there is none on the market, so 20 elks is pretty cheap. Oh yeah, I bought this for 35 elks. This was a ridiculous CGI. I have no idea why he put it up for 35. But so this is 35 and this is 25. I'm right now at like 0 elks. I think I'm like, am I at 0? I like poor as shit. Yeah, so I'm like 2 elks right now. I have some stuff for sale. If I do sell them, then I'll have currency to make other upgrades. But for now, this is all I kind of really need to get damage significantly higher. I think with these 2 items and respec and changing the tree a little, I've gotten about almost double the damage, so like slightly less than double the damage, right? So this is going to be helping me to help me push into higher maps, do sanctums and higher maps, and yeah, and then do the bosses. So I'm gonna probably do Ether and Exile soon, the quest ones, and then I'll just hopefully be able to push into T16s with the Watchstones, be able to push into T16s, and then do probably Maven, get more Watchstones. Yeah, and then Atlas tree should be pretty done. I don't really need Uber Shaper for now. Uber Shaper Elder for now. Yeah. Anyway, so as usual, the damage is being scaled off. 100% chance to crit. So if you look here, chance to crit is shown as I think 99%. Yeah, 99% with a crit strike multi of 471 coming from Mariline's, predominantly Mariline's. I don't really have much multi elsewhere. The other sources of multi coming from the 3 itself. Yeah, I've made the points more efficient. I realized these points over here don't really do anything for me. So this is 4 points have been removed and moved elsewhere. I also realized that these cluster points are really good. So I'm just stuck with this. And then I've been just stacking on as much life as possible. So I have like about 150% life altogether. And then most of the next progressions, like it's just I think optimizing gear, getting a better boot, for example. My gloves are I think pretty good as it is, and I don't think I'll change this. Lots of resistances, life, and the implicits are really nice. I got these in the first try, and I'm quite happy with them. Yeah, but the boots are like kind of meh for now. I think this can definitely be better, but this will do for now. What I could do also with the next few levels, so if I get to 90, it would be to get 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and just get resistances. So right now, if you look at my resistances, my chaos res is like abysmal. It's like minus 40, but with these points, it should be 0, and I don't feel so bad. The other things I could do with my points is also add Grace, and hopefully try to squeeze in Grace into the build. Right now, I'm not running Grace at all, which is unfortunate. I don't really have the reservations to be able to do so. I think the only way to do that is maybe anoint sovereignty on my amulet, but that also brings about another problem. It creates another hole I need to fill. So right now with my amulet, I've got a very cheap anoint. This is replenishing remedies, which is the one over here. 15% increased flash charges gain, life flask gain 2 charges, and mana flask gain 2 charges. Since 60% of your flasks are life and mana, that means you're gonna have pretty good you've got pretty good flask uptime for these. So this is the only way you recover life per se, and this is the only way you recover mana. Yeah, so during Eternal Mana Flask is going to help just to keep your mana up permanently. I have reduced mana cost as well to help me with that. So the Divine Flask, one is an instant flask, the other is a instant when on low life, and it will work like a normal flask otherwise. This gives immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood as well, so that's pretty nice. I've only got 2 Quicksilvers. Unfortunately, I don't think flask uptime is decent enough for me to run anything other than Quicksilvers, so I just use Quicksilvers to toggle between the 2 of them, so that I generally get a pretty good movement speed. Because there is no mobility skills, right? So wholly relying off movement speed. Without these is kind of meh. The path things like this now, going down here, I've opted not to go here at all. The reason why is because I really want elemental equilibrium, and if you're going elemental equilibrium, then the easiest way to get suppression is through here. So Mage Bane and then these two nodes, and then you get life from this. You also get the stun immunity, a stun avoid, which is great, and then you get the life from here as well. This also gives life flask gain charge, so that means your life flask uptime is pretty nice. I can actually do lab with this, Uber lab, and it's comfortable. Yeah, I've gone here as well because, as I said about mana, if you have more mana, you can. It's easier for you to get your reservations for Hexblast mines down, and also because 20% flash effect duration and 10% flash charges gain is also pretty substantial. So this is like two birds with one stone kind of thing. That's all there is for the build. I haven't really done much else in PoE except for optimizing this. Next few steps probably other than upgrading boots, probably the Quicksilver Flask as well. Yeah, so I'll update you guys if I get to Ether and what's it, Exile. If I get Ether and Exile, I'll probably do a video. I think the damage should be enough. I just need to be good at the boss mechanics. And that's all there is to it. Oh yeah, money making strategies and Atlas. Alright, so Atlas is just the same as what I showed previously. We're going wandering path, so you get extra points, and all you're doing is getting a lot of map rarity and chance of finding maps. There's just passive bonuses on your Atlas. And the reason why you want to do this is whatever maps I get that are rare that I haven't run already, I sell for 1 elk. Right? So I get quite a bit of rare maps of this and I just sell them. Right? So let's say I have a bunch of them. I've already made about 10 elk so far selling rare maps. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, what else have I added? I've added this stream of consciousness, and the reason why I added this is because it allows me to control the master missions on the maps I farm. So if I get a Master Elva on a tier 6 map or tier 7 map, I can just store it and then do it on a tier 10 map so I can get higher level temples. This also applies to stuff like Delve, so I can get lots of sulfite. And yeah, so Stream of Consciousness is really good. That's why I've gotten it. I've also done with the extra points, 50% chance to increase chance to contain map activities or league mechanics. I've chosen this because I figured that the thing with Ruthless is that encountering map events is rarer than is just rare. So you want to basically have more opportunities to do map events. You don't really quite care if the events don't give you as much. Like, if you're in softcore, you're not in Ruthless, what you want to do is you just want to make the events worthwhile because your time is important. In Ruthless, I feel it's the other way around. Your maps, your resources are important, right? And so you want to make sure that whenever you run your maps, you get as many events as possible. It doesn't really matter if your events are juiced, right? Because you don't really have much currency to spend on juicing. So I've added stuff like ritual altars, 50% chance to contain ritual altars, and on average, each ritual altar will give me about half an elk worth of value, I would say. So every time a ritual pops out on the maps, I'll get an elk worth of value out of them, either from maps or from currency or from items that have like elk shards. I mean, you can like itself elk shards, that kind of thing. So rituals is marked there. I also have what's it called, smugglers caches. So right now I'm started to accumulate these again. I stopped accumulating them because I stopped getting them because I wasn't at high enough eye level. But now that I've hit T10 maps, I actually get these quite often. I'm going to not complete one of them, so I'm going to figure out which one is like the most profitable, and basically not complete that one. Maybe it could be this one, which is the cat one, right? And I would just spend 300 every time I find a new quest. I will just not complete it and get all the loot and then get out, right? So it doesn't complete, and then I just cycle the same map over, same contract over and over again. Effectively, it means I get like 2 contracts per chest I open. Yeah. So it's smugglers. I have breach because I think breach is really good source of rare mobs. So I've allocated breach. I also want to do some of the breach invites, like the bosses. They might drop something good. So yeah, so far it's ritual, breach, and smuggler stashes. So for smuggler stashes, I've done a lot of blueprints. They're all done now, so you can't see them. But doing blueprints basically gives me a lot of replicas, and replicas sell for a very good amount of money, especially those that are kind of rare. So that has been giving me quite a bit of currency. The contracts as well are not too bad, but I'm usually mainly running contracts most of the time for role markers to do like blueprints. Uh, Most of the time, like I don't really do contracts. Uh, I might just sell them in bulk. I don't know. We'll see. The next other thing that I found to be very crucial. So Alpha is like super good, but since I have nothing allocated for Alpha, um, whatever I can get, I will use. The same thing with Delph, but I want to show you the Delph strategy when you're in Delph because it's very counterintuitive to what you normally do in Delph, right? So normally Delph, you want to go to a depth of 160 and then run sideways to get as much EXP and other stuff as possible, mostly Delph cities. I think when you're in Ruthless, you shouldn't do that, and the reason why is in Ruthless, resonators and fossils are very valuable, and they're very valuable because you can use them to reroll maps, you can use them to craft gear, you can use them for a whole bunch of other things, and they're not gated by eye level. So if you even if you go to like the lowest level, lowest depth of 2, you're gonna find like these ones where uh, they have nodes that says contain items. They have a chance to contain resonators and fossils. So I want to show you my resonator and fossil tab, and this is basically what I have so far. I haven't sold. So all these I can use to craft maps, right? I can use to get rare maps up to rare. So you can tell this is like 8C total, and then a bunch of them is like 2C, 2 elks. Sorry, 8 elks. So there's a bunch of them like 2 elks, etc. 1 elk, and I can sell them whenever someone's trying to buy them in bulk. Yeah. So that's how I'm also making money off Delph. So as you can see, like down here, I've gone sideways instead of going down. Say here as well, I've gone sideways instead of going down. I get to a point where I'm like, oh, I don't find any more of these reward nodes that contain items. Then I'll start going down and looking for other clusters. So like this area had like 10 different nodes that were item drops for item drops. Yeah, that's what I do with my Delph. All in all, that's pretty much it. You just elk and go. No, not elk and go. You can't even elk. Sorry, you transmute and go. You transmute and go on most of your maps. And on the off chance you get like a rare map, you do them if you already have you haven't gotten unlocked. Otherwise, you just sell them. Like you just sell whatever you don't need. Yeah. So that's all there is for the build. If you enjoyed it, although apologies in the middle or at the start, I had to take care of my kid. So yeah. And peace. So far, I'm leveling. Oh yeah, I'm leveling Hexblast in my offense. Hopefully, I'll get enough real Valves to corrupt them, but we'll see. I only have like I think 3 Vowels or something right now. It's not much. Yeah, 3 Vowels. I might have to buy a few, but they're like 3 elks each. They're kind of expensive. Okay, peace, guys. See you.